Coming up next on this week's edition of the Home Theater News Review Podcast, we're going to take a quick ride in the time machine that takes us back to the early 1900s. Then we turn to the news where some big names in the industry have announced some exciting and actually, in one case, rather shocking new products prior to next week's CEDIA Expo. We're talking about brands like Epson and Kaleidescape, Just Video Walls, and Bluesound. Also, Meze Audio has announced a new accessory that can take your gaming and conference calls to the high end. And we also have some news rattling around out of the world of TV manufacturers. Both stories on that front will have significant impacts on consumer experiences in the very near future. Of course, we'll also check in on the movie scene, and I have 3 4K movies picked out for our deals of the week, each one landing at just $15, a bargain in this day and age of elevated pricing on seemingly everything that's out there. Folks, today is August 27th, 2024. My name is Todd Anderson, your host right here on HTNR, and editor at the Home Theater Forum, AVNirvana.com. And I'm a day late on getting this show out. And truth be told, I had it wrapped yesterday, but ultimately I just wasn't happy with the direction that the show went. So here we are together for another round. Nevertheless, hope everyone out there had a fantastic weekend and that Monday wasn't too rough on you. If you're new here to the show, this is more or less a bi-weekly podcast. You can catch it on our YouTube channel or listen to it on Spotify and iTunes. And I invite you to come become a member of our home theater and AV community at avnirvana.com. Okay, today's trip in the time machine is a quick one, and I guess this is going to be rather obvious, but this has more of a tech spin than a home theater spin, but it's interesting nonetheless. So we find ourselves 113 years in the past. On August 20th, 1911, and the New York Times decided to push basically modern technology at that time to the very limit. They daringly sent a telegram message around the world, testing how fast that message could travel. Now, this message only had 6 words in it. It left at 7 p.m. from New York City, was relayed by 16 different operators, ultimately traveling around 28,000 miles. And the speed? Well, it clocked in at 16 and a half minutes. And that's all for a message that simply read, "This message sent around the world." The building where that message originated from is now called One Times Square. You probably know it best as the building that hosts the ball drop on New Year's Eve. Now, just consider this for a second. If we get back into our time machine and jump forward just 44 years, only 44 years to 1955, right around this day, we find NBC hosting the first color broadcast of a tennis match. That is the Davis Cup. And just think about that for a second. In that short amount of time, just 44 years, we went from a simple message relayed around the globe in an amount of time that through today's lens is just sluggishly slow to broadcasting a sporting event live in full color. I can only imagine what the engineers involved in those projects would think of what we have access today in 2024. All right, and we are just about 9 days away from CEDIA 2024. That's the expo that's taking place in Denver, Colorado, and things are really ramping up right now. At this time, I'm personally set to cover 34 different manufacturers on the floor, and I still have 3 or 4 more that are requesting meeting times, and that's going to take place all over what really boils down to about 3 full working days, perhaps a little less than that. So it's going to be an exhausting but really exhilarating time. From what I'm seeing, though, some of the information that I've had access to, we have a lot to be excited about. Big name manufacturers like Acurus, Storm Audio, and Trenov, L Acoustics, Sendo, Barco, JVC, Christie, MadVR, Kaleidescape, just to name a few. I know I'm leaving some out there. A lot of them are joining forces in various sound rooms, poised to show off what truly elite gear in the industry can deliver. So that is really exciting. Then we have quite a few other brands, lots of enthusiast favorites like Klipsch and Onkyo, the Sonys of the world, Epson, who we're going to be talking about in just a second, actually. Solid quality brands all announcing new gear or future initiatives. This is just such an amazing time in the world of home theater. We are literally wading through a golden age of performance. Now, as a reminder, if you'd like to experience CEDIA in person with a true VIP spin, you should enter the FAQNatics CEDIA giveaway promotion that's being run by Brett Bjorkquist, who operates the FAQNatics YouTube channel. Brett joined me for an hour-long live stream just this past Friday. You can watch that on our YouTube channel. We talked about Brett's past, but also the contest itself. I'll drop a link to it right down in the description. You should definitely go and check it out. And I believe we start talking about the contest around 35 minutes into the stream. He actually dropped a secret word that will allow you to gain an extra entry in the contest. So it behooves you to go give that a listen. And while we're talking about links, also last week we hosted Arno Laborie from Trenov on AV Nirvana Live. Arno was kind enough to come on and spend roughly 90 minutes with us talking all about the public launch of waveforming. We went into a deep dive in how waveforming works, extremely informative, and he laid it out in such a way that's easy to understand. And then we kind of folded the conversation into using waveforming in what I would deem more normal home theater rooms, even though I know that home theater rooms using Trenov equipment and, rooms that also have at least 4 subwoofers in them probably aren't technically normal, but we're talking about smaller home theater rooms, ones that do have as few as 4 subwoofers, and how waveforming plays out in those rooms. Super, super interesting. And he actually brought along 6 case studies from the real world with measurements. And these are all widely varied rooms with different dimensions, all kinds of different issues within those rooms. And he showed us exactly how waveforming works. So head over to our YouTube channel. You can find that right there. Definitely worth watching. And in just a couple hours, we have Storm Audio, JL Audio, and Mad VR joining Sonny and I on AV Nirvana Live at 5 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be chatting about CEDIA and their plans that they're going to be rolling out in sound rooms there. Also, one last note before we dive into our featured news. CePro recently announced a list of 40 women to watch in the home theater electronics industry for 2024. And I just want to highlight a few. Colleen Stearns Leith, Erin Phillips, Katie Bennett, Lucette Nicole, Roberta Lewis, Veronica Espona, and Sue Toscano. I've worked with all of them over the years, and I'm so pleased to say that a couple of them have become great friends and, frankly, people that I really care about. And it's been a real blessing getting to know them on a personal level. All of them are very deserving of recognition, as are, I'm sure, the other women that were announced on that list. And I know on the consumer side of the home theater world, people get so wrapped up in the excitement of the technologies, but it's really important to step back and recognize some of the talented people that help propel things forward behind the scenes within this industry, very intelligent and passionate people that put their best out there. And it's really great to see them getting recognized. So congratulations to all of you. All right, let's hop into our lead story of the week, and that's Epson and a new direction for its projector division. And this is what I was alluding to when I said something surprising. Well, I think this might be the most surprising news as we head into CEDIA week. Epson's projectors have historically occupied this kind of middle range, bang for your buck territory, great performance, but not quite quite as expensive as the Sonys and JVCs of the world. Just consider, the LS12000 from Epson lands right around $5K, which is about $1,000 less. We're talking in terms of MSRP here as compared to JVC's NP5 and Sony's 5000 ES. And that's exactly why the company's announcement is kind of a head turner, in my opinion. They're announcing 3 new models with prices ranging from $7,999 all the way up to, get this, $29,999. These new projectors are part of what they're calling the Q series, and I was given a private briefing by Epson a few weeks prior to the announcement, and they told me that this series was developed based on market research, where they interviewed and surveyed the custom integrator and installer segment. Basically, they learned that integrators wanted a class of projectors with higher price tags to match high-end projects and performance characteristics that allowed those projectors to operate in great rooms and media rooms that are just bathed in ambient light. So higher price points and better performance in brightly lit rooms. So with that information, Epson's engineers got boots on the ground and visited quite a few high-dollar bright room environments. They actually showed me photos of some of these, and I can assure you these are definitely high-dollar builds. Then they returned to the drawing board, and voila, we have the Q series. With that $8,000 to $30,000 price range, the Q series certainly delivers on that elevated price tag, and Epson is very quick to back it up, saying the series will give installers a nice profit margin to play with. They're also delivering on brightness with a new high-efficiency laser light source that's 75% smaller than previous versions and capable of 20% more brightness. The least expensive model is going to be the QB1000. It delivers 3,300 lumens, which in my opinion, really makes that projector best fit for darkroom home theater environments. These are the traditional environments where no light is really the best option. But then you bump up to the QL3000 and the QL7000, which sell for $15K and $30K respectively. And those can pump out 6,000 lumens. That's for the QL3000 and 10,000 lumens for that QL7000. Very, very bright, folks, right there. Those are definitely what we would call light cannons. Now, with that kind of output, you might expect quite a bit of heat and fan noise, but Epson is saying that's not the case. These laser modules are affixed to what they're calling a vapor chamber heatsink that basically works like a heat pump, keeping the entire system cool and keeping that fan noise down. We have the numbers in an article that I published over on our forums homepage at avnirvana.com. So you can head over there and check these out. But the QL7000 is definitely notably quieter as compared to its direct Sony and Barco competition. At least that's based on the numbers that Epson is reporting. So, signs are pointing in a good way for that. In terms of resolution, all three models use a variation of eShift that relies on dual-axis shifting glass plates to display all 8.3 million pixels of a 4K image simultaneously. Yes, okay. So the imagers technically are 1080p, but the way they're manipulated allows them to show a true 4K image. And as I just stated, that means 8.3 million pixels are being displayed exactly at the same time. Now, I know that's going to lead to some grumbling. There are folks out there that definitely want native 4K imagers, but, Epson came back when I kind of pushed them on it, and they said, look, not only does it work, it shows a true 4K image, but relying on those 1080p imagers has allowed them to achieve more brightness levels, greater levels than they were able to achieve with native 4K imagers. So that's the reason why they're sticking with it. In terms of ship time, the QB1000 is available next month, while the other two models will land in October. Now, fresh on the heels of releasing its more affordable Strato V Dolby Vision capable player, the folks at Kaleidescape have launched their largest and most expensive server to date. It's called TerraPrime SSD 123 terabyte movie server. And that SSD designation means that it actually does have a solid state drive system on board. The server runs quiet and is outfitted with 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, which means you can download 4K Dolby Atmos Kaleidescape films in as little as 4 minutes, which is totally nuts. Right now on my Kaleidescape system, I'm able to download a 4K Dolby Atmos movie in roughly somewhere between 9 and 11 minutes, assuming that there isn't any major network traffic. But I've been achieving that a lot recently. So the thought of 4 minutes is absolutely crazy. I love it. And you look, we are definitely getting closer and closer to a situation where this will be approaching streaming levels. I think that might be really interesting when it comes to Kscape systems years down the road. Now, this 123 terabyte movie server can also output content to up to 25 different playback zones at the same time. So that's a really big house or a really big boat right there. This is the third member of Kaleidescape's line of solid state servers. The other two are 31 terabytes and 8 terabyte variations. You can connect up to 4 of these 123 terabyte servers together, which would give you enough storage space to hold every 4K and HD movie in Kscape's store. Boy, does that sound nice. It's never going to happen here in this home, but that sounds really, really nice. Pricing lands at $65,000 for a single 123 terabyte server. Kaleidescape says it's ideal for state-of-the-art installations, which that reads as high-dollar installs, yachts, and commercial theaters. Now, here's an interesting story to keep an eye on. A company that we featured during last year's CEDIA Expo. In fact, our interview with them has gotten close to 100,000 views on YouTube. I'm talking about Just Video Walls. They have launched a new brand called Lunar Walls. Okay, so just as backstory, Just Video Walls is a relatively young Florida-based company. They actually went live in 2022. They specialize in micro-LED technologies with an approach that's built to be integrator friendly, taking the guesswork out of the buying and installation process. So Lunar Walls is designed to get micro LED walls into more homes and businesses. And to do that, Just Video Walls is sticking to this dealer-centric approach by letting dealers have a say in price points and margins and overall strategy for the brand. Just a quote here from the VP of Marketing at Just Video Walls, Skylar Meek. He says, quote, "We are an integrator-founded company, so it's important that everything we do helps our dealers in a way that we wished we were helped at the beginning. So we wanted to build this incredible new product, not only for dealers, but with dealers," end quote. So the Lunar Walls line of products will include, and this is what I think is incredibly interesting. It will include a system called the Ledge. This is a pre-packaged video wall TV. Now, think about that for a second. Pre-packaged video wall that will ship in both 135 inches and 162-inch variations. Both are 4K resolution. Both support HDR. It doesn't need an external processor. All of that is built in, and it only requires a single power circuit. It's loaded with Google TV and Android-based software, and along with other Lunar products, it installs with a modular pre-assembled system that cuts down build times into a fraction of standard video walls. Okay? So let that percolate in your brain for just a second. There are so many possibilities for a product like this. Prepackaged, modular pre-assembly system, a massive video wall system that's getting awfully close to plug and play. And I absolutely love the thought of this. And they'll also be launching a product they call Expanse. This is a pre-engineered video wall that will have 96 pre-packaged variations with easy to understand width multipliers based on a 16:9 TV ratio. So that's your standard HD TV screen size. For example, a 1.0 Expanse is a 16:9 standard TV ratio, and a 1.5 Expanse grows it to 1.5 times the width. So you're basically stretching it out on the sides, 1.5 times the width of a standard 16:9 TV. So that would actually land you at a 24:9 aspect ratio. The Lunar Expanse line adds variations all the way out to 3.0 for ultra-wide applications. Just really cool stuff. Now, Just Video Walls says the Expanse line will ship with processing power to enable multi-layering, offering more overall line inputs. The company adds that Expanse will allow integrators to deliver custom solutions with the ease and efficiency of standard sizes while maintaining competitive price points. Last year, when we interviewed Just Video Walls, Skylar Meek told me Just Video Walls was created to simplify the giant micro-LED wall experience, and these two product lines are proof positive of that effort. Currently scheduled to meet with Skylar on the morning of the first day of CEDIA, and to be honest, folks, I am probably most excited about seeing and hearing about what Lunar has to offer, and in particular, the new pre-packaged LED module. My mind has this going in all sorts of fascinating and very exciting directions. Meze Audio has launched a new microphone accessory that will take your gaming or conferencing experience to the high end. It's called the Boom Mic and features a detachable omnidirectional microphone that's encased in a laser engraved aluminum cover. Boy, doesn't that sound really nice, huh? It features both inline mute and rotary volume controls and is compatible with Meze's 99 Classics, 99 Neo, 109 Pro, and Lyric second generation headphones. It can also be used with headphone models that house dual 3.5 millimeter inputs, in addition to a range of consoles, including Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and Sony PlayStation. Thanks to its wired 3.5 millimeter auxiliary connection, Boom Mic operates without risking battery loss, so you can game, you can host meetings, you can take calls, all with zero interruptions. Meze has also launched a new headphone stand called Manta. It features a folding fin for seamless cable management, a zinc alloy finish with a matte black powder coat, and vegan leather. Our great friends at Ascendo Immersive Audio are at it again, adding to their pre-CEDIA hype with another speaker reveal. The 10 passive LED Phantom Voice is designed to fit in a shallow or narrow space, making it a great choice for installations using large micro LED walls and traditional non-perforated or near-field projection screens. I think we're going to be hearing a lot about micro LED walls this year and into the years that are coming along. This particular speaker, the 10 passive LED Phantom Voice, it has a 12-degree wedge shape face. It's engineered for theaters and screening rooms with up to 3 rows of seating. It can be mounted using brackets to position it on a ceiling or a wall. It also has keyhole wall mounts on the top and back of the cabinet. The speaker's name Phantom refers to its innate ability to create a phantom stereo image that appears to emanate from the center of a screen. That image can be moved post-installation using a processor's DSP capabilities, and that's something that we're going to be hearing happen at CEDIA. I'm very excited about that. Priced at $2,300 per speaker, Ascendo's co-managing partner, Jeffrey Heinzel, a super nice and extremely knowledgeable guy. He says the 10 passive LED Phantom Voice promises to deliver, quote, unparalleled sound quality, end quote, when compared to rival designs. Now, I have to say, having heard quite a few Ascendo sound systems, including my experience that I've had with a 32-inch infrasonic Ascendo sub that's in my home theater room right now, I have no doubt this speaker is more than worthy of your consideration. Speaker will be demoed in Sound Room 3 at CEDIA. If you're here in North America and you're interested in Ascendo, get in contact with Ascendo's North American distribution partner. That's SutherlandAVMarketing.com. I'll drop a link to that down in the show notes. That's Todd Sutherland's shop, another extraordinarily friendly and very, very intelligent guy. So hit him up and he'll get you pointed in the right direction. During the last show, I talked about Universal Display's announcement that is delaying the launch of OLED technology using a blue FOLED, which stands for phosphorescent OLED. Currently, blue is created using fluorescent technology, and the switch to phosphorescence is predicted to decrease power consumption by up to 25% while radically increasing brightness. So this is a real win-win for fans of OLED technology. According to the Korean newspaper ET News, LG Display has swooped in and successfully developed a new OLED panel using blue FOLED. This is all based on an unnamed source, but it appears LG has developed a method of stacking that allows them to combine fluorescent and phosphorescent blue OLEDs to get the result they've been looking for. A timeline for release was not provided. Speaking of TVs, Samsung is giving potential buyers another reason to look its way, publicly committing to free operating system upgrades to 2024 and some 2023 smart TV models over the next 7 years. This announcement comes on the heels of LG making a similar announcement. According to Rasmus Larson at flatpanelshd.com, this means that owners of eligible Samsung TVs can expect to upgrade their Tizen OS software on board their Samsung TV roughly 6 times over the next 7 years, with the next major version expected to drop just after the new year, probably at CES. Totally crazy to think that high dollar, not to mention super high tech TVs weren't receiving this kind of support before, but I guess that's part of that planned obsolescence, getting buyers to reach out and pick up a new product. But hats off to Flat Panels HD for looking out for the consumer and keeping this issue alive to the point that manufacturers have decided to make a change. And last but not least, Bluesound is launching an update to its Node streamers with 3 new models. They're called the Node Nano, and the flagship Node Icon. The Node Nano is priced at $299. The Node and Node Icon are priced at $549 and $999. Shipping will be staggered across the 3 models, with the Node Nano being available right now, and the Node and Node Icon will hit store shelves on September 24th and November 15th, respectively. These are music streamers that are meant to be connected to an amplifier or a powered active speaker, or wirelessly to other Bluesound speakers and stereo components using BlueOS. They can stream from popular music services like Amazon Music, Tidal, and Spotify. They can also source from networked libraries. Also, you can stream music to them using Apple AirPlay 2 and aptX Bluetooth. We're talking about super high quality playback, backed by onboard digital to analog conversion chips, and the quality of that conversion gets bumped up as you move up through those 3 models. The Node and Node Icon also have THX's AAA headphone amplifier technology on board, which will feed your headphones a very clean signal through a full-sized 1/4-inch headphone jack. Actually, in fact, the Node Icon features both left and right jacks, so that's a nice little upgrade there. The Node and Node Icon also ship DRAC live room correction ready. You'll need to purchase a license through DRAC to operate it, and a microphone kit that you can purchase through Bluesound is also needed. The models offer quite a bit of connectivity on the input and output front, which I've detailed in an article over on our forum's homepage. These are definitely worth checking out, so drop into our forum and let everyone know what you think. Now it's time to check in with AV Nirvana disc critic Michael Scott and see what he's been up to. Since we last checked in, Mike has published his take on the recent release of the 80s film The Last Unicorn as a steelbook edition. This is a Walmart exclusive, and Mike says the film still stands the test of time. As for the AV qualities, well, I'm going to make you go over and read what he has to say about that on your own. The review is live right now in the left-hand column of the forum's homepage at avnirvana.com. This week on disc, look for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and The Watchers to land on Blu-ray and 4K. We're also getting the 2011 Ryan Gosling film Drive on 4K. That's a first time for that title. Same goes for Poltergeist 2, which is also getting the 4K treatment. On the Kaleidescape front, The Crow in 4K is up for pre-order right now. Longlegs, which is still in theaters, can be purchased or rented in 4K. Other newcomers include Greedy People and The Cleanup Crew. Kscape is also hosting yet another selection of sales for summer blockbusters, movies that thrill, and content sets. Basically, with those, you need to purchase every single movie of a series, and you'll get a collective discount across all of them. Head over to kaleidescape.com for more information. Now to move on to disc sales. And well, what do you know it? DVD is still accounting for more than 50% of disc sales, sitting squarely at 55.3%. 4K UHD Blu-ray accounts for 18.2%, and that leaves the rest of the pie, 26.5%, right to Blu-rays themselves. Now, in terms of what people are watching and what people are buying, if we look at the disc sales numbers and add our streaming data, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is sitting at the top of both charts, a very popular movie. And that's really where things begin to diverge when you look at these charts. Over on the streaming side of things, we have Alien at number 2, The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat at 3, Prometheus at number 4, and number 5, we have Beetlejuice. So right there, people are using the streaming platform to see earlier versions of films that are currently in theaters now, with the new Alien and Beetlejuice coming out soon. Now, over on the disc side of things, we have two newcomers sitting at number 2 and number 3. That's If and The Bike Riders. Our former number 1, The Fall Guy, is sitting at number 4, and Twister is sitting at number 5. And that reminds me, my oldest daughter and I actually just finished watching Twisters, the new Twister movie. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. And it's going to be featured on an upcoming Bass Hunters episode, because the bass in this movie is infrasonic to the extreme. It sent my Sendo 32-inch infrasonic sub into overdrive. The presentation is so sweet. So really looking forward to getting that one out there. Now, if we're looking just at 4K Blu-ray titles alone, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga is at number 1, Bike Riders number 2, The Fall Guy hanging in there at number 3, If is at 4, and Twister is at 5. So not too much different than the overall charts. Okay, so in terms of the most popular TV shows in terms of streaming right now, we have The Terror at number 1. Bad Monkey, that is sitting at number 2. And just a note for you out there, The Terror is available on AMC Plus. Bad Monkey, that is an Apple TV Plus exclusive. Number 3, we have Kevin Can Himself. That looks like that's available on lots of different platforms. Number 4, this is a new one, The Frog. That is a Netflix show. And at number 5, we have From, and that appears to be an MGM Plus show. Boy, so many different streaming services. Starts to get a little confusing for you. But anyway, that's a check-in on what's going on in the world of movies. Okay, we are really close to wrapping this show up, but I'm not going to leave you without some deals of the week. So, I mentioned this before at the beginning of the show. I have 3 discs for you. They're all in 4K. They all are selling for $15 right now on Amazon.com. Links to all of these are right down in the description below. We have Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Director's Cut. I remember seeing that one in the theaters when I was just a little kid, and that movie scared me to death. I have not watched it recently. I actually own this in 4K, this director's cut copy. I haven't watched it yet. I kind of bought it for nostalgia reasons and just never got around to viewing it. So maybe I should get that out and take my own advice and give that one a watch. We also have Steve George's favorite film, The Fifth Element, and a fabulous film in 1917. Again, all in 4K, all are selling right now for $15. Very affordable in this day and age when things are so expensive. Now, for the gear deal of the week, I present to you Panasonic's UB820 streaming 4K Blu-ray player. This has just about every feature you could want, including Dolby Vision compatibility. It also has what they call a theater optimizer that can help you with HDR tone mapping duties, which is important if your projector or your TV struggles in that department. Particularly for projectors, we're talking about projectors that are a little bit on the older side, and they're 4K and HDR capable. You're probably not getting the best image that you can. This can help you out. I used this with an earlier version of a JVC 4K E-Shift projector that I owned at one time, and it worked out really well. This model usually sells for $500. Right now, it's on sale at Amazon for $409. And as I mentioned, links to all of those products are below. If you want to support the show, if you'd like to support our home theater forum at avnirvana.com, you can click on those links to make your purchases. We'll get a small commission at no additional cost to you. And for those of you that do that, thank you so much for your support. All right, folks, that's all I've got for you on this episode of HTNR. And as a little side note, because CEDIA is coming up and there's so much content that will be coming out of CEDIA, the next HTNR episode will probably be delayed 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not sure exactly how much time I'm going to need, but I assure you, as soon as I wipe my slate clean and get a little breathing room, we will come back and record another episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate it. For everyone out there, please be kind to each other and definitely come hang out with us on the Home Theater Forum at avnirvana.com.